Four, three, two, one. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday morning. It is August the 23rd, 2016, and we're going to start this day off talking about anger and how anger impacts baby boomers. I didn't get very much sleep last night because I went to bed mad, and I want to tell you a couple of the reasons that some things that have happened this week that have kind of motivated me to move on. But I went to bed mad last night because I got into an argument with my son. He was giving me parenting tips for my youngest son, who is 21. And I'm not saying that what he was telling me was not true, but this is a kid who filled out his college application in crayon. And the reason he did that was because he couldn't find a pen. So him and I have some differences on parenting skills and parenting styles. But anyway, what he was trying to tell me is that I was making it too big of a deal, and why do I worry all the time, and I got to let him go, which is all stuff that is true. Anyway, because of that, he went to bed, and then I went to bed, and I didn't sleep very well. So having said that, I will tell you that anger is one of the things that that I think the baby boomers expressed very well in the 70s, 60s, 70s. By the time we got to the 80s, we had turned into yuppies and we were into corporate America, and we were trying to make money and make our place in the corporate world. And I think some of that anger turned into productive energy. But as we got older, I think what society tells us is that anger is not okay, and that to be accepted in today's world, we need to be social, have good social skills, and anger doesn't really have a place for that. I think men have sports and are able to get some of that aggression out. I just don't know that women do. So anger is one of the things that we stuff and we repress, and it makes us sick. It makes us very depressed, and it makes us tired and hopeless and helpless. So today our challenge is going to be to express our anger, and I'm going to give you permission to do that. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be the real you. You can always apologize tomorrow, but I think sometimes when we get that anger out, it gives us energy, and it keeps us from getting sick and getting depressed. And so last week, I have several things that I do for a living. I'm what you would call an entrepreneur who does a lot of things, not necessarily good at anything. Therapy is my true profession, and I've done that for a long time, but I also do a lot of stuff on the side. So anyway, and one of my things that I'm doing, which I'm not doing very well in, I reached out to a guy who's really up there in the food chain and has a lot of expertise in this area, and I kept hearing his name over and over, and he doesn't know me. He lives in Dubai. I reached out to him to see if he would mentor me, and initially, he was very nice about it. I reached out through Facebook, and very sweet guy. But he basically said, no, the distance is a problem, and I don't have enough time. And so when I woke up the next morning, I thought, well, he doesn't have to do anything, but what if I just reported to him what I was doing every day? And in doing that, I would have some sense of accountability, and he doesn't have to do anything. Well, the second response that I got was kind of like, Diane, stop this and follow the process. And okay, I don't really know what generation he falls into. I'm guessing he's either an older millennial, or he is a young Generation X. But anyway, it was one of those things where you felt like you got slapped by a 5-year-old, and you were like, ugh. So when I initially read that, it was like, wow. And then I thought, first of all, if the process was working for me, I wouldn't be asking you for help. The process is not working for me. I have followed the process, and even though it works for some, it doesn't work for me or my generation. And second of all, wow, really? So I did what I always do. I sent back a response that was kind of like, thanks. And I deleted the message, but it really triggered some stuff because I don't ask for help very often. I think that's part of our trait, is that we figure it out on our own, and we have a brain, and so we use our own brain, and we just try to figure it out even if it doesn't work. So if I'm reaching out for help, it's because I really need it. But I understood where he was coming from because he doesn't know me and he doesn't owe me anything. And really, I mean, I'm an old lady. I mean, I'm sure that's how people see it. Why would I invest my energy in somebody who's at the end anyway? I'm really not at the end, but I think when you're 25, that's how you view it. It's kind of like transplant. When you're awaiting a transplant, one of the things that they look at is your age and are you a viable body to sustain an organ that they're taking from someone. And so if you're too old, you get cut right away. So anyway, that's kind of what I was thinking. But as a result of that, it made me so mad that I was determined. But out of that came some very interesting things. And so one of the things that I realized was is that even though it really made me mad, sometimes when we reach out and we ask people for help, it may not necessarily be just for us. There's lots, it may help them, it may help a lot of people. And so if you are needing help from somebody and you don't want to do it anyway, because maybe it'll help them or maybe it'll help a group of people. You just never know. And then the other thing that the incident that happened with my son last night, I said some things to him, and yes, I realized I just went, so excuse me for that. I said some things to him, but one of the things that I was thinking when I was talking to him is, he kept saying, don't make a big deal out of everything. Well, what I was thinking is that my life is a big deal and things are a big deal to me because I don't spend all day on Reddit trying to figure out what's really going on. That generation believes that if you read it on the internet, it's true. And my communication with people involves more than texting. So my life gets pretty complicated. Number one, I use my brain. Number two, I talk to people and I have interactions all day long. And so I was thinking this morning, the next time he asks me a question, what I should do is say, hold on, go pick my phone up, Google something, turn around and say, yep, Reddit said you're a dumbass, and LeakWeeks confirmed it. So there you go. And so now I'm going to blog it, Facebook it, take a picture of myself, tweet it, Twitter it, and then I'm going to spend the rest of the day waiting for people to like it, and when they don't, I'm going to feel really sad. So maybe their life is more complicated than I think because it involves having to do all this stuff and having to read stuff. As a general rule, I will Google stuff, but I don't necessarily believe it because for anything that you Google, there are 50,000 opposing opinions, and the one that you usually reach for is the one that's looked at most, which may or may not be true. So your challenge today is to express your anger. Your second challenge is when somebody asks you a question, Google it and then give a response and see if somebody young believes you because you found it on Reddit. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. And the saying for today is you can't be hateful and grateful in the same second. You got to pick a side. Pick the right one. Bye.